Can VAR be saved, right? I don't want to keep moaning about VAR. I want to try and actually come up with a solution because we're never going to scrap it, right? We will never, now we've got VAR, it's never going to go anywhere. If you tried starting next season without VAR, it would take 1 week, a load of bad decisions on field, and people will be saying, bring back VAR, we need it, right? So, how do we save it? Now, for me, there are two fundamental flaws with VAR in the Premier League at the moment. The first is that they genuinely are not coming up with the correct decisions. And we have so many examples where, as fans, we have no idea what the outcome of the VAR decision is going to be. Examples yesterday in the Arsenal-Bournemouth game where even Arsenal fans are saying, yeah, VAR should have intervened there, but it didn't. And so, if fans, we don't know what the result is going to be, then that's a really bad position to be in. It should be that 90% of fans know what the outcome of a VAR check should be, and that should be the result of the VAR check. Now, there are two examples that I can think of where VAR has changed throughout the season, right? Fabio Vieira, earlier in the season, got sent off for an almost identical challenge to this. Arsenal fans didn't complain about it, we accepted it, but that has to be based on the, respect, the mutual understanding that then that decision will be returned if it happens to an Arsenal player, but in this case it didn't. And then with this one against Manchester United earlier this season, very similar example, Havertz burst through, left his leg in, there was minimal contact, but there was contact, he went down, the penalty was given, but then VAR overturned it. And then yesterday, the exact same thing, VAR doesn't overturn it. So at some point this season, Howard Webb decided to get VAR less involved, to raise the bar of what needs to happen. But to do that mid-season is insane, because any idea of, things will even themselves out. Well, they can't if the way that VAR is used changes within the season. Now, for me, this Bezzy Mates crew of predominantly northern blokes needs to be broken up. The best mates, and we've heard it from the horse's mouth, that them being mates causes problems. We all remember Mike Dean, who was touted as one of the best, made a Chelsea VAR error to protect Anthony Taylor. How often does that happen? And it's not just about protecting their mates, it's about protecting themselves. The issue with them both being referees and VARs is that a referee might make a decision on the Saturday as the on-field referee that's wrong, and then they're the VAR the following day. They see a similar sort of incident, but they go, well, I can't really overturn that, having given a decision the other way yesterday, because that makes me look like a complete hypocrite. So they're both protecting their mates and protecting themselves. So I would cull half, at least, of the current Premier League referees and look abroad. You look abroad, you start bringing the top referees from outside of the country in. Real Madrid against Bayern Munich the other night, absolutely sensational performance from Clement Turpin, where there was no even need for VAR to exist. He nailed every single decision to the point where VAR checked them, but was ultimately not even needed. And then I think we need VAR specialists. Stop having referees act as VARs. Bring in 10 VAR specialists. One of them does each game per weekend, and it's the same 10 every weekend. And they are almost robotic in the way that they do things, so that they are ultra consistent, they're not protecting their mates, they don't even know who the on-field referees are. They simply do the job correctly, to the same standard every week, and that's it. And then once we've done that, where we have independent VARs, they're almost like auditors. When auditors come in to do an independent check of a company, they act like that. So we've got them, we've got better referees. We don't have him because he's completely lost trust in football fans, right? So we get rid of him as well. We get rid of this show. We have on-field decisions, when they're changed, are immediately told to the audience, to the crowd, but also people listening at home hear the entire conversation between VAR and the referee, so that that's fully explained. We don't need this show that picks and chooses the highlights effectively of the decisions that they've made and just ignores the howlers. And from there, we can maybe start rebuilding trust in VAR.